All right, I'm trying something new here, using kind of a combo of OBS and then traditional filming like I do out in the shop. I bought a Torx bit set a while back from Harbor Freight, and it didn't come with a holder. And it actually didn't come with a common size, which is T27. So I bought a T27 and a holder. I didn't save a whole lot of money as compared to the Icon set. It just sort of pissed me off that Harbor Freight didn't include a holder, or I mean, their icon set doesn't come with a holder's frame. So I sketched something up and then designed it in Solidworks. Um, and I'll kind of take you guys through the process of that. So we'll go to the big cam. So this is the sketch that I originally drew, and it's pretty simple as far as sketches go. I just have a chart there on the right side, and that was me measuring the shank diameter of the Torx bits, and then um, so over here, and then this was just a simple sketch. I'm not a very good sketcher, so these were kind of reliefs that I wanted in the middle, real basic shape. And this was to go inside of Harbor Freight's already existing um, sheet metal frame for their Allen set. So we'll jump to the SolidWorks file here. And we'll get me out of the way. So I figured what we'd do is step through the generation process here. Basically, it started out with a side view of the part. Now, again, you may do this differently um, than I would. So you can see all the primary dimensions here. And there's a bunch of stuff going on here. I'm having to have my screen in 1080p, which I normally don't have. And normally my screens are 4K. So it's like I'm looking at a potato screen here. But anyways, the next feature I added was just an angled cut, and you can see what I did here. I could have, I could have done well, it would have angled the whole face. So anyways, that's what I did. I could have done one side and then mirrored it, but I did both because I was feeling lazy. And then here's the cutout for that, for the inner relief. So just another cut. It's held back from the ends there. You can kind of see that. And then I drafted these faces right here. So I drafted them in by, what is this over here? 20 degrees. And then I started filleting. It's a pretty simple file. Filleted these top corners here. And then after that, one too far. My next fillet was filleting that kind of inner face there, that inner pocket. And then we're going to get a cut extrude, which has all the sizing here. And you can see the shank sizes. And then the way I got them evenly spaced, if we actually go into the sketch and take a look at it, all of the center to center distances have equal mates on them, so that just space this pattern out equally. So, and this is just operating totally different than what I'm used to, so that's why I'm struggling a bit. And then I don't know what this move face was. Let's see what that is. So I measured the diameter of the Torx bits, but I needed a little bit of a compensation for clearance, so I gave it 5 thousandths clearance. And it ended up that I had to drill these out, so the support material, I have an older 3D printer and the support material didn't come out, so I ended up I've got a cobalt drill bit set from Harbor Freight. I just drilled all the holes out. It did give me a starting point for kind of drilling them out, and I ended up in Prusa Slicer actually making that a solid print through the middle there, right here through the center. I'm not sure if I showed that in Prusa, but there's a way to add material, and so I made that center section a solid bar. So when I drilled through the support material, that it's self-centered the drill bit because there's less material there than that solid print, like I-beam that runs through the middle of the print. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to jump over to the sorry, I'm not used to this. We're going to jump over to the footage of me out in the shop running the printer, and we'll talk more about it there. All right, guys, so this is the these are the layers that they put down to stick the part to the table. I mean, obviously if you've 3D printed before, you know what this is all about, but I haven't ran this machine in about 3 or 4 months, so I can't believe it's printing at all. But you can see the outline. Of course, I'll do actual screen casting, but you can see the part right there. So we'll go back to 3D printing, and of course this part is going to fit in between that right there. And my Torx bits are going to go in between those. And here's a T40 Harbor Freight Torx bit. So there's the outside rim of the actual part. The material back here is infill, or actually I'm sorry, it's support, because I have a bevel on the face that points up. It's beveled or tapered. When it's done, you guys will see it, but there has to be a support structure that holds it. So anyways, printing along. Alright guys, so this print for the Torx holders finished up early this morning, and just haven't had time to get out here yet, but I'll go ahead and show you guys it and pull it off the printer here. So here the part is right here, and we'll pull it off of here and kind of see what it looks like. So if I don't get rolling bars. I do get rolling bars. So you guys can see that obviously there's some support that I've got to break off of there, and it looks like some of the holes are a mess. Doesn't look like those supports are going to come off super easy, so I'm going to fool around with that and I'll get back on here in just a little bit. Alright, you can see the part here after I cut it and sanded on it and burned it and all that stuff. The side that it was down obviously has a pretty crappy finish, and the side that was up has a nicer finish. I think that's PLA. It does not sand very well. You have to kind of do low speed sanding, and it makes this really sticky dust. So if you're going to be sanding on it, I'm not sure what you should use, PETG or ABS or I don't know. But PLA, I think that's PLA, doesn't sand very well. You can see the Harbor Freight Allen kit here, and then the Lone 27. So obviously Harbor Freight does that on purpose to try to get you to purchase their more expensive set. They don't have a holder. So you can see that this goes in here like so. Come on. Obviously that one T27 is a different manufacturer, so good old Harbor Freight kind of screwed people over. You know, your customers notice these things, Harbor Freight. But I'm glad they have them for as cheap as they do. All the orange, the yellow, or all the green ones were $9, and then the orange one was $9. And then this holder is designed specifically to go inside of there. So it's going to go down inside of here, and you'll be able to see it when it's done. But more or less, it's to hold those Torx bits inside of the other kit. And I mean, it needs a little refinement. These should have been tipped in more, or shouldn't have been there at all. Probably should have had this shape here follow all the way through. So anyways, it's not even a prototype. It's just to hold the Torx, the T-handled Torx bits. But yeah, I'll give you guys a little showing once it's put together. All right, here's the complete kit. And get this stuff out of the way. Here's a complete kit. You can see all the different sizes. Obviously the orange one is low. I could have made this ridge taller and thinner. And what it would have done is I could have made this one hole shallower, or the rest of these holes would have actually been deeper, and then I would have made this one shallower, because right now where it needs to be, you can see that it basically is out of the hole when it's at the correct height. So I would have done it a little differently. You can see though that that's the Torx holder. I'll put the step file link somewhere on the video to it, probably on Thingiverse or something, and then you guys can modify it how you see fit. So hope this helps somebody. Talk to you guys later.